All right, let's jump into another deep dive. Today we're going headfirst into Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. It was quite the spectacle. We've got a whole bunch of sources to dig through. Pre-fight predictions from big names like Joe Rogan and Floyd Mayweather, a play-by-play of the fight itself, and all the post-fight reactions. What a mess.
It was a fight that really took the world by storm. I mean, you had a legendary boxer back in the ring, a controversial YouTuber wanting to prove himself, and that age-old question, does experience beat young blood?
Yeah, right off the bat, the age difference was all anyone could talk about. Tyson at 58.
Going up against a 27-year-old Paul.
And the trash talk, let's be real. That was pure entertainment. Remember Jake Paul saying he was going to knock Tyson out cold?
Oh, yeah. And Tyson's response, well, let's just say he didn't hold back. Talking about Paul's funeral and everything, social media was blowing up, and all that hype definitely contributed to the massive payday. We're talking like $40 million for Jake Paul.
Oh, yeah. Money talks. But beyond the hype and the money, there was a real debate about how legitimate this fight really was. Some people were saying it was a joke, a spectacle that made boxing look bad. Others saw it as like a clash of generations,
Yeah.
different fighting styles.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, for example, he had some serious doubts about Tyson being able to actually compete at his age.
Rogan was really concerned about Tyson's physical state, especially his ability to take punches from a younger, faster opponent. He's always talking about the risks of brain damage for older fighters.
Right, right.
But get this, Floyd Mayweather had a completely different take.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was totally supportive of Tyson, basically saying, let the man fight if he wants to, you know?
So basically, Mayweather's thinking was more about respecting Tyson's choices, even if other people disagree.
Exactly.
So we had these two boxing legends with totally different opinions, which just made things even more interesting. But let's move from opinions to the actual fight. We have this round-by-round blog that breaks down what happened in the ring.
Right from the start, it was obvious that Paul's speed and agility were going to be tough for Tyson to handle. The blog says Paul used quick jabs and body shots, forcing Tyson to defend himself more than attack. Tyson, though, he wanted to land those knockout punches he's known for. But Paul was just too quick, too hard to hit.
So it sounds like those early rounds were like classic styles clashing, Paul's agility versus Tyson's power.
Yeah, exactly.
But as the fight went on, things changed a bit.
Oh, for sure. Paul wasn't just relying on being fast, though. His technique was good. And he was landing those punches. You could see how things were shifting. Tyson was having trouble landing his big hits.
It was strategic, not just a slugfest. And you have to wonder, did Tyson's game plan change because of those health problems? Remember, he had to postpone the fight from July. That ulcer thing.
Yeah, that definitely made some people question if Tyson was really ready for this. They were worried he was being pushed too hard. But you know Tyson, he never backs down from a challenge. He even talked about it, saying, I'm doing this because I can. Who else could do it?
That's Tyson for you. And of course, Jake Paul always has to get the last word. He took credit for getting Tyson a Netflix deal and said, "You're welcome, my son."
That whole back and forth between them was something else. Felt like one of those WWE rivalries.
It wasn't just online either. Remember that press conference where things got physical? Tyson shoving Paul? That was intense.
Oh, yeah, that was tense. And Paul shoved him right back, too. No hesitation.
Really made you wonder how much of that was real and how much was just for show.
It's hard to tell with these celebrity boxing matches.
It's like, is this sport or entertainment? Hard to tell where one ends and the other begins.
And that's part of why people are so drawn to it. You've got YouTube fans, people on social media. They wouldn't normally watch boxing.
Yeah.
But they're glued to this.
You got it. And that's where the controversy comes in. People who love boxing, they say this stuff is ruining the sport. It's all about the spectacle, not the skill.
Right.
But then there are others who say this is good for boxing, bringing in a younger audience. It's a complicated issue, a lot to consider. Like, what's happening to boxing with all this social media stuff and celebrities getting involved? But let's get back to the fight. There was that turning point where Jake Paul was clearly taking control. That blog mentioned his footwork being really impressive, dodging Tyson's punches and setting up his own attacks.
And his stamina, that was a factor too. Paul was in way better shape. He's a young athlete in his prime, you know. Tyson, even with all his experience, he's almost 60.
So you've got Paul, fast, accurate, can go the distance. And then Tyson, lots of power, but it wasn't working as the fight went on. Must have been frustrating for Tyson, known for those knockout punches, and here he can't land one.
It was like watching someone outsmarting a stronger opponent. Paul was playing chess, Tyson was playing checkers.
And in the end, that strategy worked. The judges all agreed Jake Paul wins. Unanimous decision, Jake Paul takes it. But man, did it leave people wondering, was that a real fight? Or was it all planned out for show?
That's the big question, isn't it? And everybody's been talking about it since the fight ended. Some people think Tyson didn't really try, like he was holding back. Others say Paul really proved himself, showed he's got real boxing skills.
This fight really got people thinking about what's happening to boxing these days. Is it more about entertainment now, less about, athleticism?
I think things are definitely changing. These celebrity boxing matches with social media hyping everything up and so much money involved, it's kind of blurring the lines, right? It's bringing in new fans, but some of the diehard boxing people, they're not happy.
And it makes you think about, is it okay for these older athletes like Tyson to be doing this, putting themselves at risk, especially when they're legends like him?
Yeah, that's a valid point, especially if the long-term health stuff, brain injuries and all that. But at the end of the day, it's their choice, right? They're grown-ups. Who are we to tell them what to do?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
We want to keep these guys safe, but we also got to respect them and their decisions.
And don't forget, these fights bring in a ton of money, not just for the fighters, but for the whole boxing world. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons to keep doing them.
It's complicated. But one thing's for sure, that Tyson-Paul fight, it's changed things. People are debating, it's all over the news, and we're having to think about what boxing really is now.
And it's not just boxing. Think about it. You've got celebrities doing all kinds of stuff now, like MMA, even esports. It's a weird trend, but it shows how much we love celebrities and want to be entertained.
Makes you wonder what's next for professional sports. Are we going to see more of this? Celebrities fighting each other in different sports? What does that mean for the sports themselves?
Good questions. But here's the thing. This whole thing with sports, celebrities, and entertainment, that's not going away anytime soon.
So we're going to leave you with this thought. Was the Tyson-Paul fight a sign of things to come? Or was it just like a weird one-time thing? Whatever you think, hopefully this deep dive gave you something to think about.
Absolutely. Go check out those sources we talked about, form your own opinion, and join us next time for another deep dive. We'll be tackling something else that's got everyone talking.